And if you don't have a partnership where you're both open,
nothing to take her down.
I was destroyed, like on the ground, crying.
To like the other one's perspective and thoughts and vantage point, it's just never gonna work.
We're back in the voice.
What if I told you that behind Kelly Clarkson's bright smile and powerful voice, there was a painful secret that almost destroyed her? The woman who sang about being stronger actually felt weaker than ever because of the man she trusted most. Today, we're going to talk about why Kelly Clarkson utterly hated her ex-husband Brandon Blackstock. And trust me, the reason will shock you. Kelly Clarkson has always seemed like she had it all together. She won American Idol, became a superstar, and built an amazing career. But what most people didn't know was that for almost 7 years, she was living a nightmare behind closed doors. The man who was supposed to love and support her was actually tearing her down piece by piece. But before we dive into this heartbreaking story, let me tell you about Kelly's incredible journey and how she became one of the most successful singers in the world. Because understanding her success makes what happened to her even more shocking. Kelly Clarkson didn't start with much. She was born in Fort Worth, Texas, to parents who divorced when she was just 6 years old. After the divorce, her family split up in different directions. Her brother Jason went to live with her dad. Her sister Elisa stayed with an aunt, and Kelly remained with her mom. Her childhood wasn't easy, and she grew up in a very strict household where church was a big part of life. Kelly's musical talent was discovered by accident. She was walking down a hallway at her middle school when her choir teacher heard her singing. The teacher immediately knew Kelly had something special and encouraged her to join the choir. Kelly had never had any formal training, but her voice was naturally amazing. In high school, Kelly threw herself into performing. She got lead roles in school plays and musicals. When she graduated in 2000, she had scholarships to some of the best music schools in the country, including Berklee College of Music. But Kelly made a bold decision that surprised everyone. She turned down all those scholarships because she believed in herself so much that she wanted to try making it on her own. Kelly worked several jobs to pay for demo tapes that she sent to record labels. But getting rejected became a regular part of her life. Some record labels even told her that her voice was too black for their taste. Can you imagine hearing something so hurtful and racist? But Kelly didn't give up. In 2001, she moved to Los Angeles to chase her dreams. Life in L.A. was tough. She worked small jobs, appeared as a background actor in TV shows, and kept getting rejected by record labels. Things got so bad that a fire broke out in her apartment, leaving her homeless and heartbroken. She had to move back to Texas with her tail between her legs. Back home, Kelly worked whatever job she could find. She promoted energy drinks, worked at call centers, and waited tables at a comedy club. But she never stopped believing in her dreams. Then in 2002, something amazing happened. She heard about a new TV show called American Idol and decided to audition. Kelly's audition changed everything. Her voice was so powerful and emotional that it gave people goosebumps. She had something that other contestants didn't have. It wasn't just her voice, it was her personality. She was funny, down-to-earth, and real. People fell in love with her immediately. After months of competition, Kelly won the very first season of American Idol. Can you imagine how that felt? One day she was waiting tables, and the next day she was a millionaire with a record deal. Her first single, A Moment Like This, shot straight to #1 on the charts. Kelly's first album, Thankful, came out in 2003 and was a huge success. But it was her second album, Breakaway, that really made her a superstar. Songs like Since You've Been Gone and Because of You became anthems that people still love today. The album sold millions of copies and won Kelly 2 Grammy Awards. What made Kelly special was that she wasn't just another pretty face. She could sing any style of music, pop, rock, country, dance, and make it sound amazing. She was the first artist ever to have #1 hits on 5 different types of music charts at the same time. That's incredible. Music critics and industry experts were blown away by Kelly's talent. Even Simon Cowell, who discovered her on American Idol, said that Kelly would have been successful with or without the show. She had that special something that true stars are born with. By the time Kelly released her album Stronger in 2011, she had proven that she wasn't just a reality TV winner who got lucky. She was a real artist with staying power. The title song Stronger became one of her biggest hits and won her another Grammy. Everything seemed perfect in Kelly's career, and she was ready to find love and start a family. That's when Brandon Blackstock entered her life, and everything started to fall apart. Kelly met Brandon Blackstock in February 2012. Brandon was a talent manager, and he also happened to be the son of Kelly's manager. At first, everything seemed like a fairy tale. Brandon was confident, charming, and seemed to understand Kelly's world. After growing up without a stable father figure, Kelly dreamed of creating the perfect family. She thought Brandon was the answer to her prayers. Their relationship moved fast. They got engaged and married in October 2013 at a beautiful farm in Tennessee. Kelly was so happy and so in love. She believed she had finally found her Prince Charming. She posted happy pictures on social media and talked about how wonderful married life was. From the outside, everything looked perfect, but behind closed doors, a very different story was unfolding. Brandon wasn't just Kelly's husband. He was also her manager. This meant he had control over both her personal life and her career. And slowly but surely, he started using that power to tear her down. Brandon's jealousy of Kelly's success became a poison in their marriage. Instead of being proud of his wife's achievements, he felt threatened by them. He couldn't handle that Kelly was a star while he was just a guy managing her. So he started doing everything he could to make her feel small and unimportant. The emotional abuse was cruel and constant. Brandon would make nasty comments about Kelly's appearance and talent. He would criticize her in front of other people and make her doubt herself. One of the worst things he ever said was that Kelly wasn't attractive enough to be a judge on The Voice. He told her that the show wanted someone more appealing, and that she didn't have what it took. Can you imagine your own husband saying something so hurtful to you? The person who is supposed to love you unconditionally telling you that you're not good enough? Brandon even compared Kelly to other female celebrities, saying they would be better choices for the job. He made her feel like she was lucky to have any opportunities at all. But here's where the story gets even more twisted. Even though Brandon spent so much time telling Kelly she wasn't good enough for The Voice, he secretly worked to get her the job anyway. Why? Because he wanted to make money from it. When Kelly did get hired as a judge on The Voice in 2018, Brandon immediately took almost $2 million from her contract for himself. Think about how evil that is. He spent months crushing her confidence and making her feel worthless, but then he profited from her success when she got the job despite his negativity. It's like he was playing a sick game where he won no matter what happened. The financial betrayal was massive. Over the years, Brandon stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from Kelly's various business deals. He took $200,000 from her cruise line partnership and $450,000 from her furniture company deal. He was acting as her talent agent without having the proper license to do so, which is actually illegal. But the money was just part of the damage. The emotional wounds ran much deeper. Kelly later said in court that the harsh things Brandon said to her left scars that would never fully heal. When your partner constantly tells you that you're not pretty enough, not talented enough, and not good enough, it destroys your soul bit by bit. For almost 7 years, Kelly tried to make the marriage work. She kept hoping that the man she fell in love with would come back. She fought for their relationship because she wanted to protect the family they had built together. They had 2 beautiful children, River Rose and Remington Alexander, and Kelly didn't want to break up their home. But love can only take so much abuse. By 2020, Kelly had reached her breaking point. She finally realized that Brandon wasn't a change and that staying in the marriage was hurting her and potentially her children too. In June 2020, she filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. The divorce battle was ugly. Brandon demanded huge amounts of money from Kelly and tried to get custody of their children. Even after losing his job managing Kelly, he still felt entitled to her success. It was like he believed he owned her and everything she had worked for. Kelly had to go to court and share the painful details of what her marriage had really been like. She had to tell strangers about the cruel things Brandon had said to her and how he had controlled and manipulated her. It must have been so humiliating to have her private pain exposed like that. But Kelly fought back with everything she had. She wasn't going to let Brandon continue to control her life or take advantage of her anymore. She hired good lawyers and built a strong case against him. The California Labor Commissioner eventually ruled in Kelly's favor, ordering Brandon to pay her back more than $2.6 million for the illegal deals he had made. The court also awarded Kelly full custody of her children, which was probably the most important victory of all. She had protected them from the chaos and toxicity that Brandon brought into their lives. Throughout this whole nightmare, Kelly had some good friends who stood by her. Blake Shelton, her co-judge on The Voice, cut ties with Brandon completely and supported Kelly during her darkest times. Having people in her corner who could see the truth meant everything to her. Even after the divorce was finalized in March 2022, Brandon kept fighting. He and his lawyers appealed the court's decision, trying to hold on to the money he had stolen. But Kelly had already won the most important battles. She had her children, her freedom, and her self-respect back. Looking back on this story, it's easy to see why Kelly utterly hated Brandon Blackstock. He took advantage of her love and trust in the worst possible way. He was supposed to be her partner, her supporter, and her protector. Instead, he became her biggest enemy while pretending to care about her. Brandon's behavior reveals something really disturbing about his character. While he was busy tearing down Kelly's confidence, he was getting rich off her talents. He couldn't stand to see her shine, even though her success was paying his bills. It makes you wonder if he ever really loved her at all, or she was just a meal ticket to him from the beginning. The psychological damage Brandon caused was probably worse than the financial theft. Money can be earned back, but rebuilding your self-esteem after years of emotional abuse is much harder. Kelly has said that some of the things Brandon told her will stick with her forever. That's the cruel reality of emotional abuse. The wounds are invisible, but they cut the deepest. What makes Kelly's story so inspiring is how she found the strength to fight back. It would have been easier to stay quiet, keep the peace, and let Brandon continue taking advantage of her. But she chose to stand up for herself and her children. She chose to reclaim her life, even though it meant going through a painful and public divorce. Kelly's journey from victim to survivor shows us that it's never too late to escape a toxic situation. Even when someone has spent years trying to convince you that you're worthless, you can still find your power again. Kelly not only survived Brandon's abuse, she came out stronger than ever. Today, Kelly is thriving. Her talk show, The Kelly Clarkson Show, has been hugely successful. She's still making music that touches people's hearts. Most importantly, she's raising her children in a home filled with love instead of toxicity. She took back control of her narrative and refused to let Brandon's betrayal define her. Kelly's story is also a reminder that abuse can happen to anyone, even successful and famous people. Money and fame don't protect you from manipulation and emotional cruelty, but they also don't prevent you from finding the courage to escape and rebuild your life. As for Brandon, his reputation is pretty much ruined. Everyone in the entertainment industry now knows what kind of person he really is. His appeals might drag on for years, but the truth about his behavior is already out there for everyone to see. The most heartbreaking part of this story is thinking about Kelly's children and what they might have witnessed during their parents' troubled marriage. Kids pick up on tension and conflict even when adults try to hide it. Kelly has probably spent a lot of time helping them heal from the trauma of living in that environment. But Kelly has always been someone who gives back and helps others. Even during her darkest times with Brandon, she continued supporting charities and causes she believed in. She's worked with organizations that help children fight hunger and support education. She even runs an animal rescue on her ranch in Texas, caring for pets that have been neglected or abused. Maybe Kelly's own experience with abuse has made her even more compassionate toward others who are suffering. She understands what it feels like to be torn down by someone who claims to love you. That experience, as painful as it was, might help her connect with and help other people who are going through similar situations. Kelly's comeback story proves that you can overcome even the worst betrayals and come out stronger on the other side. She didn't let Brandon's cruelty destroy her spirit or her career. Instead, she used her pain as fuel to rebuild herself into an even better version of who she was before. The saying, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger," really applies to Kelly's life. She's living proof that you can survive emotional abuse, financial betrayal, and public humiliation and still come out on top. Her strength and resilience are truly inspiring. Kelly Clarkson's story reminds us that behind every smile, there might be hidden pain. The people we think have perfect lives might be fighting battles we know nothing about. But it also shows us that no matter how dark things get, there's always hope for a better tomorrow if you're brave enough to fight for it. If this story touched your heart or opened your eyes to the reality of emotional abuse, please hit that like button and share this video with others. Kelly's courage in speaking out about what she went through might help someone else who is stuck in a similar situation. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stories about the real lives behind the headlines. Thanks for watching, and remember, you're stronger than you think you are.